Let's go.
Yo, how we doing? It's WrestleMania weekend, baby. It's Mr. Young.
And it's foreign in the building. All right.
What's going on, my brother? Also, hello to everybody in chat right now. It is popping. Our Discord was popping off as well. We have many things to talk about on night one of WrestleMania 41. So let's say hello to everybody in the chat right now. I know everyone's buzzing. Lysander, it's good to see you. Div Royalty, Irvin, Maku, Rishi, Najwan. Let's go.
Yeah, man, guys, thanks for holding it down on the Discord. You guys are crazy. Some of you guys were up in the middle of the night for NXT Stand and Deliver. Some of you guys sat through the whole Triple H Hall of Fame speech from freaking midnight last night as well. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, we are blessed, bro. We
Yeah,
are
y'all
spoiled as well.
Y'all some real ones. Let's freaking go. Oh, time to talk about Balls Rub Heyman. Rub it in, man. I don't know. I feel like we should just jump right in and talk about the biggest twist. Well, not even one twist. It's double twist. The main event, you know?
Yeah, I think we should start from there, and then we start our way back from below.
Sure,
I think that's what we can do.
Well, okay, as a whole, though, before we get to the main event, right? We want to say, talking about main events, talking about wrestling, we have a sponsor, and he is somebody you're all very familiar with.
For sure. Guys, first of all, we always are supportive of everyone who cares about our community. And you guys remember Hasif from last season?
Yes.
If last season was his test run, the tiptoe into the world of wrestling, this season he's full on, bro. And what better way for us to announce our collaboration than on our WrestleMania podcast? He will be the official Season 8 sponsor for the rest of the year. So you guys will see a lot of him. We'll be doing a lot of content with him as well. And, we'll get him more on our local shows, guys. So all you Grapper Max, SPW, Ring of Rebirth fam, get your boy to come check out your local wrestling show as well. Let's go.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already dropped him a follow, do so. He supports us. He supports the wrestling community. So let's support him as well. And of course, he's got his fingers in so many different things. He's got the food stuff, right?
Yes.
He's got his financial advisory, stuff that he does. So, hey, if ever you have any questions about, setting up a business or anything like that, you can always ask him out. I say ask him out for a date all right. No. He will absolutely gladly meet you for a date and just get to know you first. Don't even need to talk shop on the first meeting.
Yeah, man. And the most important thing, guys, you can talk about entrepreneurship with him. You can talk about brand building with him. You can talk about marketing with him. If you want to market your brand. I know see some of you guys budding content creators out there. And he's here to support us and support our passion of pro wrestling, bro. Bro is excited, bro. He's like, oh, guys, WrestleMania is happening. Right now, he's in Taiwan. Apparently, he's like climbing mountains. So he's gonna... Yeah, I think he's just on like a 6-day hiking trip. He's that kind of guy. Remember fitness bro, remember?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I'll check out a bit of your podcast while I'm climbing up. If
so
the stream
he's
is
a
okay.
fitness bro, he's financial bro, he's food bro, he's all the bros in one, man.
Yeah,
drop him follow once again. It's Hasif_captures on Instagram, and you can always slide into his DMs if you have any questions or if you just want to chat.
He can be whatever bro you want. Let's go.
All right, let's talk about WrestleMania Night 1. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get this out of the way first. I have to say, right? I watched WrestleMania Night 1 in a very weird state this year, okay? And I feel like I don't know if it's kind of a spoiler already, but I don't know if my lower rating of it is a reflection of how I felt. Because, my bro, I am goddamn tired right now. By the way, happy Easter Sunday for everyone who celebrates.
Yeah, man, guys. I hope you guys had a long Good Friday weekend. I know it coincides with WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You guys are balancing all your religious commitments. So, respect to you guys as well.
So, chocolate eggs are a thing during Easter, right? I was dealing with a different form of chocolate, bro.
Yes, you did.
Those of you on the Discord, you might know what I'm referring to. So essentially, actually she's in the room right now. She's feeling better, I think. So one of my doggos, Sophie, right? She had really bad diarrhea since yesterday, night already, And she just, in the middle of the night, would keep on waking up and going to poo. And that's usually not a problem if she just needs to poo regularly. She's quite clean, right? But because it's diarrhea, and she's a floof, she got a lot of fur, right?
Yeah, she is.
So poor thing was going every 20 minutes to poop.
Yeah.
So every 20 minutes, I was getting up to clean her butt.
She got designated area, right? She knows
Yeah,
when to go.
yeah. So, but then she'll start whining for me to bring her out. And
Oh,
I
okay.
also cannot just leave her go out and then let her sit around with her stained fur all over the place, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I essentially have no sleep. And while I was watching WrestleMania, I was also cleaning poo. So I just wanted to set the context of my state of mind while I watched night one of WrestleMania. And maybe that was why I was a little bit more bitchy and critical about things.
I have this early reaction. I feel like maybe WrestleMania in its live reaction, like right now,
Yeah.
might not be how it was intended. Maybe after like a few viewings, or we let the emotions settle a bit, maybe we can kind of like objectively talk about it. But again, that's the whole point of us coming on the podcast live right after. We want to give our real raw reaction, right?
Raw, I see what you did there. I will say this though, night one traditionally is the more tame night. It's like, even though we did have the twist at the end, right? The double twist at the end, usually night two is the big, like, whoa, big finish, big finale. So I'm not going to say, oh, this year's WrestleMania was a bit of a letdown because we haven't seen night two yet. But again, it's the same I felt as last year. Night one was a bit like, underwhelming.
If you remember last year's situation, I mean, they also had the problem with the crowd reaction or lack thereof. But also, if you think about it, that tag team, mega power tag team, they're supposed to be the main event last year, kind of fell flat in a way. Like it wasn't as talked about. I mean, of course, after whatever happened on the end game part of things, it was almost kind of forgotten about. So I would say on a match-to-match basis, I would think that last year kind of was slightly lacking than this year, to be honest. Actually, I thought night one this year on a match-to-match basis performed better. Don't forget, Jimmy and Jay also was in night one last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Wow. One of those two was in a match this year. And also, to that point, right, last year's night one was a setup for night two, right? This year is its own story. So it feels a little bit more conclusive, even though we had more wrinkles instead of a conclusion. And that might be my gripe with it. We didn't get a conclusion. We got akan datang.
I mean, you're talking about the main event.
The main event, the finish. Okay, let's quickly talk about the set. Okay, to me, I love the set. The set looked grand, incredible, like one of the best sets in a long, long time.
Amazing set. I think some people were comparing it to the WrestleMania 39 set in LA.
Yes.
I think they really did a great job capturing the skyline of Las Vegas, with the MGM Grand, the huge hotels, and the fact that it looked like, you know what, somebody said that it looks like they're coming out of the lobby of the hotel.
Oh yeah, I think that was the point. Like the Vegas hotel, they're coming out. I think that's the vibe they were going for. So yes.
Yeah. I love it when WWE puts in effort and kind of pays tribute to a bit of the city, right? I mean, they tried that with last year's like bell situation.
Yeah.
Right? But essentially, it was an LED screen with the bell, not an actual bell. If it was an actual bell, maybe level up a bit,
Yeah. No, like nowadays they just nowadays just use AR effects, bro. No need props, waste money, bro. Save money.
Yeah, bro. My brain cannot brain though. Was those things that was hanging during the entrances, was it AR or
AR? Those were AR. The panels, right? And those were brilliant. Remember, for a while they were experimenting with AR. Then they kind of disappeared for a bit. I think AR should be a thing where they use for big events and not try to do on a Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. Every time, remember there's one time they had remember Randy Orton had the AR of like the snake coming down.
Yeah.
And then somebody said it looked like a sperm or something because it was so bad.
What?
Yes. There was one of the WrestleMania entrances where the snake was on the stage, like the screen on the stage. Yeah. So if they do it right, it's nice. I think today they use it very minimally, like kind of supplement or enhance the experience as opposed to it being distracting.
Right. Wait, so Lysander says it was legit panels. Were they? So did they retract up and down? Because I feel like I didn't notice them for most of the match, but only during the entrances. So maybe they were retractable light panels.
Najwa and Irvin says they were legit. If they are legit, right, is it how like they set up VAR? So if you know about football, right, VAR essentially are pulled up by those like invisible strings that is like, if you really can't see it, but then it helps to kind of fly the cameras around. Is it a same rigging situation where it can be like kind of like set up as people walking past?
Could be. Because Allegiant Stadium, like Irvin says, is very new. Yes, the last time I was in Vegas, there was no such thing as Allegiant Stadium. So yes. Okay, so that's the set. Hall of Fame, very quickly, I watched it. It's very hard to beat the Paul Heyman year. Because Paul Heyman's speech was so good. He set the bar so high. And I think Triple H's speech was the best, obviously. You know, all the stories and...
The use of Metallica.
Yeah, not just that too. They got Lady Gaga on one of the promo packages. Was the Jade Cargill package?
Oh, yeah.
No, it was Tiffany and Charlotte. They got a Lady Gaga song. So they are spending some of their money to pay them royalties. Hey, Tony Khan, there's a new... new people in the game using splurging on copyrighted music.
I mean, the fact that they can bring the freaking Weekend 6 years in a row. And I'm still not happy. 6 years of contributing songs, but the Weekend never appear on WrestleMania. Come on,
TKO.
bro.
This is the power of TKO, bro. Okay. Can I say this though? I'm very tired of Fiend. Every week I hear Fiend way too much. I got sick of it so fast.
I need Cody Rhodes to beat the Fiend out of Travis Scott, bro. Come on, bro. Like, damn. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that song. But can we also say, okay, if there's one thing that I think this Hall of Fame did right, was they finally brought it back to a banquet ballroom setup. That's, I think, what a lot of fans say was lacking in terms of the extravagance of it, you know?
The ring, the sort of like last time when they did it, like after SmackDown, you understand why they did it, but also it didn't feel like an awards night. It felt like, oh, we just add on an extra thing after the show. And then people were tired after SmackDown.
Yeah, it felt almost kind of thrown together because literally the ring was collapsed while all the workers were changing the shit. People had to be streamed in wearing their clothes. It felt a bit of like a game show kind of audience.
It did.
But the thing is, the setup was nice and perfect. But the timing of it didn't make sense to have it start so late after SmackDown. I think most of these people were from the show had to cross over to the street to the hotel, had to change out, and then like the show probably started like 11 p.m. over there for them.
Yeah. And it was super late. And then they even joked about it. Shawn Michaels had to go off to prepare for NXT Stand and Deliver, which I haven't watched. I'll probably... Every year I do this. I cannot tahan the marathon watching. Like, I know some of you, my hat's off. If I wore a hat, I would take my hat off to you. You can watch, Stand and Deliver, Hall of Fame, SmackDown, WrestleMania all in a row. I cannot, bro. I will die.
I understand. So while we actually say that as advertised, we will talk about NXT Stand and Deliver, I think because of the situation right now with all the stuff that is kind of being compressed, I think let's just focus on WrestleMania. Yes. We probably have thoughts about it probably maybe the next week or what, once we kind of have everything settled down. But, but let's focus on this first. Yeah.
The thing is though, we are taking a bit of a break. I will be in Seoul next week. So I don't know. Unless you want to do the show by yourself, bro.
Oh, bro. Fiend.
No, we need a break. That's the truth. Like, we need a break, but us saying that, right? You know some crazy shit's gonna happen on Raw. And then we'd be like, we need to talk about... That's why we have a Discord. Y'all come in there and then we can react there. So it's all good. The community, the narratives continue on our Discord. So there you go. Okay, anything else you want to cover that's pre-WrestleMania before we jump right into this crazy-ass main event?
I mean, not much really, but I do want to give a shout-out to one of our older sponsors. If you remember, a couple of years ago, we had Nick Mutt on... Yes. As a sponsor. He was a property agent, loves wrestling. And if some of you guys still follow him on social media through the time that he was sponsoring the podcast, that bro is right now currently in Las Vegas attending WrestleMania. So if you guys want to stalk Singaporeans' live experience at WrestleMania, go follow him on Nick Mutt Jawani. I think you can check him out on our previous episodes as well. Yeah, bro brought a Singapore flag. Bro went to WrestleCon, went to the conventions. I think attended SmackDown if I'm not wrong. And yeah, basically the whole entire experience weekend. So check that out as well. So if you guys want to know how it feels like to be there live, and that is a bucket list thing, bro.
It is. Item. Bro, WrestleMania 50. Come on. Let's just keep saving. We need to save. We need long-term plans. Goal setting, bro. WrestleMania 50. Kick to the gut.
And WrestleMania London, don't forget. If it ever goes to Europe, before that, true. I'll drop everything, bro. I think I'll drop everything. Okay, wait. Irvin brought up one good thing we need to bring up about the announcement of the AAA acquisition by WWE. Is it acquisition or like a partnership?
Acquisition. So WWE bought AAA.
Holy shit.
So then, where is AEW going to get their random luchas? who they CMLL. Yeah. Look, it was funny when they showed Vikingo. At first, I was like, isn't Vikingo like AAA or didn't he appear on? Yeah, didn't he appear on AEW like a bunch of times with Omega?
Okay, here's the interesting thing. So the AAA, their main title is like the AAA Mega Championship. Please correct me, all you wrestling experts, if I'm wrong. And that was held by Vikingo for the longest time. Remember?
Yeah.
Didn't he defend the title against Kenny Omega?
Uh-huh.
And I'm pretty sure when Kenny Omega was the belt collector era of his reign, right?
Yeah.
He was a mega champ as well from AAA. So there's definitely been a very long-standing relationship with AAA and AEW. But this is coming out on the heels of AEW announcing that they have a partnership with CMLL for Forbidden Door.
Right. So it now makes sense that this was probably in the works already. AAA is like, we cannot partner with y'all anymore.
Bro, this is like if a wrestling war, these are the big bosses choosing all their allies.
Oh my God.
Spanish allies, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's pretty huge. And Irvin brings up a great point. Is New Japan next? With The Rock wearing the New Japan shirt, like WWE. Hey, this is like old Vince buying up territories. Now they are buying up the wrestling companies from all different countries, lah.
Yeah, but the thing about the AAA thing that is cool is that it can act as a feeder system in Mexico.
Yes.
That has a direct pathway. Because previously, if you did all those great things in AAA, probably you won't get noticed by WWE.
Correct.
Right?
Now,
so now they have a direct path. So it's smart business, I would say.
Yeah, and all the Latin American countries, like that's a huge audience for AAA, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, and one time if you can send out a Stephanie Verker to have a one-off match, some of the luchador, this Dragon Lee not enough TV time and SmackDown, no worries, come down.
Yeah, so it's like what they're doing with NXT. They send some of their talents maybe need a refresh or a rebrand, whatever. Send them to NXT, or now you can send them to AAA. If they buy New Japan, send them to New Japan. Oh my God,
bro, it's wild. So my question is, if they're gonna pick sides and choose sides, right? Like they need to start like kind of booking and choosing their allies, because if not, WWE is gonna snap up all other feeder brands, and then what's left for AEW? Because AEW I think still have that New Japan partnership and that CMLL. So what else can they do, right?
But the difference is one is a partnership. This one is full on acquisition from what they said, right? So it's like
a Ring of Honor equivalent deal.
Yeah. So they bought them and all the all their library, I'm sure as well. Whew, they're making big money moves, baby.
So don't forget, as part of the announcement, they will have a Worlds Collide event. I think happening sometime this summer. So look out for that as well.
Wow, exciting stuff. Yeah, exciting stuff. Okay. I wonder if terrorists make them do it. Stop it, lah. Okay, come. Let's talk about WrestleMania 41. Let's talk about the main event. Straight off the bat. Okay, so to be honest, a lot of people are saying that this was a one-match card. Do you agree, first of all?
To be honest, only Naj one said it. Shout out to
well, no. Other people I saw online also are saying that was the only match worth watching, which I disagree with. I'll say that.
Yeah. Right off the bat, I would say I disagree as well. But this will definitely have the headlines. I think whatever went down in this match, the whole build to this match, the entrances, everything about this match is gonna be the biggest takeaway from night one. Like even down in the future in history, a lot of people are just gonna talk about this match and maybe a bit of Jay. Depending what happens in Jay Uso's career going forward. We'll talk about it later, but this was one of the highlights for sure.
How many goosebumps popped out of your forearm? And did you do the slap thing when you heard the song? When you heard Fire Burns?
Oh, fuck, bro. Okay.
In that promo.
This gave me the same vibes and feelings I got when Drew McIntyre Clash at the Castle. They played his old team as part of the promo package.
Yes.
I love that callback. I mean, of course, I think we've moved on from that era. That straight edge music, I think, felt correct for that era. It's weird to bring it back as his permanent entrance. But that nostalgia that he evoked, and also using all the old footage, right?
Yes.
That really helped drive home like the history CM Punk has. It felt like a homecoming for sure, the way they were trying to portray it.
Well, if anything, it made me want him to win. It got me hyped for CM Punk winning this match.
Yeah, that's one element of the entrance. And then when they had freaking In Living Color back, I still remember their 2013 entrance, the one at New York, right, against Undertaker. That was kind of like, felt like it was cool to have them, like it felt like any other band. But somehow, something about this performance and their presentation just felt more epic, bro.
Yeah, it really
So epic,
did. You know,
Yeah.
and like, okay, in terms of live performances, we've talked about this before. They are usually hit or miss. Was
Yep.
this a hit or a miss?
I would say musically, I think they still perform quite well. Do you see the shot where he cut away to Rick Rubin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rick Rubin, which is of course a legendary producer, produced a lot of Linkin Park and like all the old school bands, AC/DC and all that. Bro was bopping. Okay, so like
Yeah.
musically, I think it was great.
Agree.
I only had one criticism, bro.
Okay.
The band ended their song too early, lah, bro. CM was still at the apron when the song stopped.
Okay, no, I thought that was done on purpose. It was like,
Really?
He
Okay.
literally ended it on the beat, bam, and then he stood there, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I
Okay.
actually didn't find fault with that.
Different interpretations, I suppose. Just like more like I thought like it would make sense for him to be kind of standing up on the corner
Yep.
with the things posed out as the ending. But other than that, like the fact that Roman and Seth had to stay in the ring and wait for the entire performance to go down.
Yeah.
This kind of like a bit of like psychological moves as well.
What about
Right.
Seth Rollins' wardrobe change entrance?
So that's the thing. First thing that came to my mind was like, is Seth kind of paying homage to HBK?
Oh, the
2009?
Jesus
Yeah, it's the Jesus thing, right? Like the and then
Easter
like,
Sunday, what?
Exactly. And so I was thinking like, okay, got some religious connotations, but what was your interpretation of the entrance?
Oh, it's Hilton. He's going from black to white. He's changing colors, alignment shift. That was what I thought.
Ooh, okay. But he started off as white and then went to black, right?
No, he started as black. He was wearing this.
Sorry.
He looked like garbage bags, some
Oh, yeah.
Lady Gaga garbage bag outfit, and then the lights went out, and then he became Jesus.
Okay. I it was hard for me to figure out what he was. My only takeaway was like, oh, he's gonna try to predict the fact that this is gonna be like a banger, like okay, like the second coming of HBK. So I like that interpretation, I guess. But I just had a feeling, bro. Like,
Yeah.
do you realize the last 1 week the groundswell of support for Seth has suddenly went up?
Yeah. Well, okay. And also, like, if you want to think about it from like the significance of Easter Sunday is supposed to be the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And this is the resurrection of the Messiah. He's he's returning to his old authority, I guess,
Yeah. The Messiah gimmick also was a bit underrated. Let's go. When he was trying to play Jesus and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a bit of a resurrection, like, theme lah. So I guess it fits. Okay, Roman Reigns, his entrance, I think he's taking a bit of he's had a few grand entrances. He's not the tribal chief anymore. Him coming up by himself felt a bit weird, right? But I think we talked about this before as well on the podcast. He now needs to evolve into the man with no tribe, the tribal chief with no tribe. And
Agreed.
Yeah.
And you brought out a great point in your predictions as well, talking about that. The fact that this is his first WrestleMania where he's all alone. He's walking into WrestleMania all alone.
Yeah.
And that hollowness, I don't know whether that's the right word to describe it, but the fact that he is all alone and it felt amplified by his entrance.
Yes.
It was just him. There wasn't any epic orchestration or like live band. Like last year's one was amazing.
Yeah. No Jimmy, no Jay, no Wise Man, no Tongans, no nothing.
But not gonna lie, when he was walking, there was a close-up shot from the side as he was walking down the ramp, bro. Bro got aura, bro. He just pops off my screen, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, he just, exudes vibe and aura, right? So that's all he needs. Like I said again, the question is, how does he proceed from here as the lone man, Oh my God, yes, Rishi brought up a very good point. And, okay, so I've always considered teeth whitening, right?
Yeah.
Because, I could have whiter teeth, right? I'm a little bit older already, so they've gotten stained. But I always think to myself, like, when you go on Instagram and you look at these, like, people's photos, and you look at, confirm they made too, and they whiten the teeth digitally, right? Because it's too white. Roman is like that in real life. Like, there's such a thing as too white already, his teeth.
Bro, I agree. I mean, there's this one footballer in formerly of Liverpool, Roberto Firmino. Those people who know will know lah. This guy purposely made his teeth super white because he just like that pearly white teeth.
Oh my God.
It's to the point where it's distracting. I agree, bro.
Yeah.
I agree, man.
So every time he grunts and like you can see he's emoting, right? He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But then when he shows his teeth, I'm like, oh, wow, shit. It's all I can see. Or when
too
he
shiny.
smiles, yeah, it's too bright. Like,
Yeah.
it's so weird we're talking about his teeth, but it's very distracting for me.
Yeah, didn't Randy Orton make fun of his teeth like
Yeah.
the first time he did it? Like
Yes.
compare him to like some horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take away from how I think about him, but he does. I feel like he can stand alone, like
Yep.
as this lone man, or like a king without a kingdom kind of vibe. I think that's a really cool gimmick to go towards. But do you feel like his recent interviews and the stuff that has come out in this last 1 week in terms of him promoting WrestleMania has like made people feel like, oh damn, okay, problematic. I don't know, it's tough.
Who? Rowan?
Yeah, Roman Reigns talking about him supporting Donald Trump. That's one of the
Oh.
things. And then I mean, not just that. I think he also kind of low key announced that he plans to retire or
Yep.
plans to step away from the ring in the next 2 years. So it feels like he is winding down his career, moving on to other things.
Correct.
So whatever we are seeing feels like, okay, now this is WWE in the process of transitioning away from Roman Reigns being the focal point.
100%. So maybe he's gonna be like that Highlander that just shows up once in a while and then disappears off into the sunset. And then when he needs to, storyline wise, he'll show back up again. And then they have built-in feuds already. So, maybe honestly, I feel like he's gonna disappear for a while after this.
Again, yeah.
And then come back when it's SummerSlam, when it's Survivor Series or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much fallout from what happened, but with whoever the eventual winner that we're going to talk about, I think the storyline is going to be following that as opposed to like seeing the reactions from the rest, right?
Correct. So the match itself, let's talk about the work. I think the work was fine. I mean, it's two current, like this generation veterans and one previous generation veteran, and there's to be okay. Like it's weird, right? Like I feel like there was nothing bad about the match itself, but there was nothing great that really stood out. Like, do you feel that way?
I would put the standard for a WrestleMania triple threat on one match, right? One of my first earliest matches in my
Triple H,
in my
HBK,
life.
Benoit.
Yes.
Yes.
WrestleMania 20, the main event, Madison Square Garden. That to me was like the epitome of like a perfect wrestling triple threat match.
Yes.
You have three very clear, distinct styles, right? You had the brawler, you had in Triple H, the ring general, and then you had like Shawn Michaels, which is all about the athletic, the crazy stuff. And then you have like Chris Benoit, which is like the technical masterpiece guy.
Yes.
So every time they all three interacted, there's such a distinct wrestling dynamic, right? I think that's what makes a triple threat work. It has to have three very distinct wrestling styles.
Yep.
The thing about this match, and maybe you can share your thoughts as well and build on that. All three have very distinct personalities and characters, but all three kind of feels the same in the ring.
Okay, so I see where you're going with that train of thought. I mean, it could be argued that Seth is like the HBK, Roman is like the Triple H in terms of their wrestling style, and CM Punk would be the more technical one. But those three are more blended in with one another, as opposed to the other three, the Triple H, HBK, and Benoit. Those were more very specific skills types. You know what I mean?
Yep. And the differences is what makes the match stand out. Because I felt like a lot of this match, the great things about the match is when they kind of course, copy each other's finisher, finisher spam and all that kind of nonsense.
Finisher kickouts. There were a lot of those. Again, WrestleMania, you get infinite finisher kickouts, apparently.
Yeah, they love doing that, right? And I don't hate it because it's like a very modern way of telling an epic story. But again, like the in-between moments, I just felt like their movesets are very similar.
Yeah.
The way they wrestle is very similar. So I do not know whether that is a reflection of the previous time there was two very similar wrestlers wrestling, right? Where you talk about Jimmy and Jay. Sometimes the movesets are two the same, that it becomes too blended. I don't know.
That one is, they are two the same and limited. So
different.
But yeah. Okay, so there was another point, a plot device, I suppose, they employed to make this stand out. They finally broke the new reinforced tables. This is the first time. They saved it for them, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Did you think it was a moment?
The table a bit cute lah. It doesn't have the impact of like the original tables.
Yeah. So okay, I want to ask you, like, because when they did it, I was like, oh shit, they finally broke the new tables. But then it didn't have the impact that I thought it would have. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I felt a bit underwhelmed. I thought maybe I was just fucking tired.
Yeah. I mean, I can take a step back and talk about the story that they were trying to tell. Remember
Mm.
at the start of the match, CM Punk was like stepping out of the ring and like trying to
Yes.
say like, oh, both of you are gonna like, be
Y'all
in
fight, lah. Y'all
cahoots,
fight.
right? You all
Yeah.
fight first, you all fight first. And then like, I think they paid off that tease in the match when like eventually Roman Reigns and Seth team up together to take out, CM Punk. So the actual impact of the table, I think, wasn't as important as like, oh, okay, this was the story that they're trying to tell. So I was focused more on that. But I do get that the table doesn't have that same impact because every time you do a table spot, right, it really feels like a big deal, like previously.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that they've saved the breaking of this new table for such a long time, and then when it happened, it didn't have an impact. I think, to your point, it's because it wasn't built up to that. The match was the match. I feel like they should have just saved that table spot for something else then.
Yeah, agreed. I think they could have done without even the table spot, but I think they needed like a very emphatic like midpoint of the match to kind of climax it.
But if it was a thing where they constantly tried to break that table, but it wouldn't break, and then when finally it breaks, so you know what I mean? Then I'll be like, yeah, they finally did it. But yeah, it felt like a bit of a forced spot, and ultimately most people aren't even going to remember that spot happened.
Yeah. What were the storyline threads that you enjoyed about this match, or like spots in the match that you enjoyed?
I mean, they've done it before, but the spear into the pedigree, this was perfect.
Yes.
How perfect was it? It's like a video game, bro. Like he literally dove, and none of it looked. And I'll bring this up quite a few times in some of the other matches. Spots that looked choreographed, there were a lot of them, unfortunately, that looked perfect. Like, oh, he did it. I counted and it looked like seamless. This is what I'm talking about when I say you have three veterans who can make everything look good. And by look good, I don't mean everything looks perfect. Sometimes you need matches to be rough around the edges, but it doesn't feel like I'm helping you or you are helping me. That's what a great wrestling match is, right?
It has to look not perfect, imperfect, because that's the whole point of like combat, right? When you simulate combat is not perfect. People will struggle to a submission, or people will hit somebody not not perfect, but it kind of catches them, and then it's the way they sell. I agree with you. That was an amazing thing. I think a lot of people thought like, oh shit, that this could be the finish, and then it was a false finish, and people really popped for that moment. So that's really good. So yeah, nothing much to say in terms of like the actual match mechanics. Do you want to talk about the ending though?
The ending. Okay, very quickly, let's bring up Irvin's point of they made a match without a clear heel going in, and they made it work. I agree with that. We talked about this last week as well, how they've basically made a match with three characters as opposed to a heel and a face. Three people that will have fans and detractors. That some people love Roman, like, you know what I mean? It's not like Dom, everyone will boo Dom. Or Charlotte, everyone will boo Charlotte. In this case, you got people who have fans on both sides, and some people love all three.
I agree. I think that makes it work as well. Like all three had certain reactions at certain times.
Yeah. And they can do it because they all have legit motivations and backstory and lore for it to happen. Which is why the ending was a bit annoying to me. Okay, let's go there. Okay. Because I know people are like, oh yeah, remember Seth is owed a favor by Heyman. Everyone kept bringing that up. That's such a poor plot device. It's you know what that's akin to, by the way, obviously it's in reference to what happened on that Raw, right? Yep. It's akin to, bro, I beat you, I go beat you, but I don't beat you. You owe me favor now. How does that make sense?
So what? Paul is gonna be living the rest of his life in fear that Seth will beat him up if he don't give the favor? Like, I mean,
exactly. Like, did you like that whole narrative of you owe me a favor because I don't beat you up here?
I would say as a starting off point to add an intrigue is okay, but like that cannot be the crux of the story. Like, oh, this is my friendship bracelet, and it causes the entire storyline.
No, but psychologically it doesn't make sense as well, right? Then like that, everybody owes everybody a favor, what? Because I choose not to beat you up. That's why you owe me a favor.
I much prefer Seth's promo from SmackDown, to be honest, as his reasoning for doing what he did. Yeah. I prefer the one where he said that if it was CM Punk on top, it was Roman Reigns on top, they did not know anything about sacrifice, they only care about themselves. I have been the epitome of sacrificing for this company, putting their company first. No. That is story. I rather they focus on that.
Yes.
That's the reason why.
His motivations are very clear and well defined, and it's great. It's this alliance to Paul, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what I immediately thought when the double swerve happened was it feels like a Vince Russo booking. In that they are swerving for the sake of swerving to give you that to how do I put it? It's like either way, it was going to be obvious. So let's do the third option, which makes no sense. But once it happens, because it makes no sense, people won't expect it. And therefore, it'll be like, whoa, and then people talk about it. Then we'll go back and explain it next week.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
So it's the explanation, the justification that will make or break this angle.
Yes, correct.
If like, okay, for example, like for the shock factor, oh my god, they're alive. Why would they alive? So all of us are now asking the same questions, right?
Yes.
Okay, when they're able to justify the alignment, like for example, it's John Cena's heel turn, shocking, right? Everyone had a lot of questions, but even though it wasn't the explanation that we wanted with all the Rock stuff, he kind of made it about him turning against the fans treated him like shit. Like all that makes sense. So you're like, okay, fine, I get it why he turned heel, right? So they gotta explain this, new association very, very well.
Unless, and the people have brought it up, then they might agree. And Seth and Heyman join. Two more people, remember? Ooh. Everyone's saying the two, that's what he's hinting at. Just sit back and watch. So,
like and
sort of reforming the authority, if you think about it. And Seth has a history of aligning himself with the people in charge. And The Rock is on the board. So it kind of makes sense, right? And then you have Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman has a connection with The Rock, right?
I like that. I really like that a lot. You know who else should be part of that stable, bro? Drew McIntyre. Drew, have you seen his new commercial with The Rock?
Huh? He has a new commercial with The Rock? No, I haven't seen it.
Bro, him and The Rock got collaborator post, bro, on Instagram. Ooh. He is the new ambassador for The Rock's Project Rock Under Armour stuff.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay.
So and then all the comments was, oh my god, Drew sold out to the final boss as well. Drew sold out. Yeah, so... that could be a pretty badass stable. Remember when everyone's saying that Drew and Seth were the ultimate haters of WWE?
Yeah.
They should just get together and just hate on CM Punk together.
And so he's doing that now. So, Irvin, that's the other thing I was thinking about as well. Paul kept getting guilt tripped by Roman and by Punk, so Paul just went, fuck it. Stop ping-ponging me around. I am not your bitch. And then maybe that's the reason. Like, I don't know. That
could also be a good reason. Like, he's saying, like, stop making me like the victim. You guys think that, I have to grovel towards you and beg for your loyalty. No, I am smarter than this. I'm one step ahead. You guys have to thank me for giving you guys your career. You know what I mean?
See, then in that case, right? Then why didn't he just side with Roman? Because he's already sided with Roman. He knows Roman has, he can create his own empire and stuff like okay lah, I'm probably overthinking it, but, because I like sleep. But I really do agree, though, that the justification will make or break this turn.
Yeah. I still think that there is, they still have some runway to explain themselves.
They do.
But at this point in time, the ultimate reaction is like, huh?
Yeah. Okay. But, I kind of miss the moments where WrestleManias were, especially the main event, is like a resolution. Because this is not a resolution. Going back to what I said earlier on the podcast, this doesn't feel... This pay-per-view didn't give me a sense of, storyline resolve. No, this is next season cliffhanger sort of a thing.
I think they started doing it when they made it 2 shows or 2 nights. Like they had to make night 1 like a reason enough for people to want to watch night 2 to see what else happens, So I don't know.
But I mean, technically night 2 doesn't link into night 1 in this way anymore. Unless, of course, we're talking about Seth and Paul joining Rock lah.
We shall see. I have a feeling that that's a very huge possibility now that you guys mention it. And I just feel like while this was a great main event, it felt like you said, I'm comparing it to past triple threats that I put high on the pedestal.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I felt the emotion. I felt like, wow, this is great. Like best WrestleMania, best triple threat. I think I wrote it down on the Discord. But now thinking about it, I was thinking like maybe I was kind of sucked into the emotion. Now taking the step out of it, logically looking at it, there were some plot holes and they were trying to push storylines. This feels like main event of like a SummerSlam or like a pay-per-view in between that is supposed to push the storyline forward.
Actually, that was exactly what I was thinking when the show finished. I was thinking in my head, why did it feel like a, like an Infinity War and not an Endgame.
Which is, I guess, what they've always tried to do with Night One. That's what happened last year as well.
Like I said, though, it is only night one. So, Diveralty says that this was a whoever wins, it will be an unsatisfactory ending. I disagree, Lay. I think that CM Punk hugging Paul Heyman victoriously at the end of the night would have been a very satisfactory ending. And then you have Roman sort of sitting in one corner, jealous. Seth died somewhere, you know.
Yeah. It is tough lah, because I just think that CM Punk win made a lot of sense. I think Roman Reigns winning would have made a lot of sense, like him on his step back to reclaiming his power.
Okay, to be honest, if you were to ask me, like, okay, who do I think has the least chance of winning, I would have said Roman Reigns. Because he doesn't need it. B, like you said, he's already hinted that he wants to leave. So I think he's going to step into that. He's there to make other people roll as opposed to be the guy.
So this is the beginning of his come down from the main event.
Correct. But he already has the aura and vibe, so it's fine. He can make other people now. Now he gives back.
It's so wild to think that this guy has lost 2 WrestleMania matches in a row after being undefeated for so long.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. No, but he already made his money. What? You only get that, few years to shine, and he did the best with it. So, this is not Hogan era, bro, where he's on top for like 5 years in a row, whatever it is.
I mean, if the crowd demands it, I mean, the fans of the OTC is a lot, bro. Everyone still thinks of him as a top guy, and I think he even said it in his promo or backstage interview, like everyone still calls me champ, even though I'm not. So I agree though. I really agree.
We'll have to wait and see then. Huh? All right, let's talk about the other matches on the card. The one that kicked off the night, as we all guessed it, and then they announced it earlier as well. It made sense, right? So this is one of those cases. It was very predictable, but it's predictable in a good way because you needed that, like I said, like satisfying conclusion to this feud. Jey Uso finally beating Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And we've seen this template from Gunther before. Gunther versus Sami Zayn, Intercontinental Championship. It's like Sami cannot win. Finally wins it at the big one.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it works. The formula works. That's why you're using it, right? My favorite thing about this match, where I was pleasantly surprised, was that I thought this was a great wrestling match. I did.
Okay. Are you using a bit of hyperbole when you say great? Like, I wouldn't say it was great. I would say that it was one of the better Jey Uso singles matches because Gunther was there, but I would not say it was great, bro.
So that's why I wanted to complete my sentence.
Okay,
this was a great wrestling match for Jey Uso.
Basket you! Hey, retconning your own words, bro.
Bro, you never let me finish my sentence, bro.
I don't know about that. I guess we'll never know.
No. Here's what I mean. Like, I thought that Gunther gave Jey his best match.
Yes.
And I felt Jey stepped up and delivered.
Let's be clear, singles match, because he's had banger tag team. He's a tag team wrestler, right? He's always been. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's like he's gonna be the Kofi, he's gonna be the Daniel Bryan. He's gonna hold on to this for a couple of months. He's gonna sell a shit ton of merch. No, Yeet, whatever lah. Yeet shirts. He's a top merch seller after all. But once the whole Yeet thing sort of fades out, then 3-second loss to Brock Lesnar.
Oh man, that happens.
Okay, no, I don't think it'll be that bad, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Do you see his promo? They had a promo video for him building up towards this match with Gunther.
The quiet one, right?
Yeah, the quiet one. Yeah. I think he's also very self-aware of his perception, right?
Yep.
Like, what is he without his catchphrase? What is he without all that? And then I think his take away or that the thing that pushes it is like, oh, at the end of the day, it's just me who's like, I'm the one that can make the difference.
Yep.
I like that.
Yes, and him winning without Jimmy was also very important.
Yeah,
and it, if he had Jimmy out there, I think it would have taken away so much from his win. The finish, a lot of people say it was flat. Some people are like, why Gunther tap so fast? What did you think of that finish? I thought it was kind of flat too.
I was listening to the post show before we came on live, and I think Wade Barrett was trying to give a great justification, and I was like, I can see that.
Wait, what was his justification? Like, he didn't want to get choked out?
Yeah, you heard that, where I think when Gunther realized that he was in his like finisher hole of like the sleeper, and he felt like he didn't want to suffer the embarrassment of getting choked out, he would rather tap out.
I don't know about that. it feels like a UFC thing, you know? You should probably tap out before you get your
Yep.
ankle broken. It doesn't work in wrestling, I feel. It makes the person who taps out that fast look like a bitch.
Remember when Brock Lesnar tapped out to Kurt Angle, and then for the next couple of weeks and
You
months,
tap.
people just kept chanting, "You tapped out."
So I guess that's where they're going with it lah. So you tapped out, you tapped out will be the chant that will piss off Gunther.
Correct. I feel like that serves that story. But in
Mm.
terms of them stealing or Jay stealing Gunther's moves to kind of get the read on him,
Mm.
I don't know. Like he okay, yes, Jay also managed to lift up Gunther to do a power bomb,
Yeah.
but I just felt he should not have done it because like wow, now Gunther kena taken a power bomb from Jay Uso. So Jay Uso is strong enough to like do that to Gunther. Like I
Yeah.
wish they played out the fact that Gunther has the strength and size advantage over.
Yeah. Okay, so it would have made more sense. Like that was the whole thing, right? Oh, you only have 5 moves. Well, then do 5 new moves that don't involve stealing your opponent's moves.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Remember when John Cena tried to prove his wrestling doctors wrong and started doing freaking Hurricanrana lah.
Yeah. So that's what you shouldn't do. Don't try to do moves that don't make sense for your character. Like didn't he do the Cody Cutter lah? Essentially, didn't he do a Cody Cutter as well?
Yeah. He jumped on the roll and that no link to his character.
Yeah,
Bro.
and he looked so clunky doing it as well.
Yeah. But I think what Jay could have done, and I think they tried to tease that at the beginning. He tried to chain wrestle with Gunther at the beginning.
Yes.
Right? And then kind of stop out by a chop. I think if I'm not asking Jay to suddenly become a technical marvel, do a Bret Hart, right?
Yep.
But I think be a bit more smarter with how he did his moves, save up the super kick for a one-off at the ending stretch of the match.
Yep.
Just introduce more things on his arsenal. If he debuted a new move, right?
Yeah.
I think we were like, wow, okay, that's a great move. Let's use it more, you know.
Ultimately, though, it was the right. I mean, like you said, like we all said, like it was a good match for Jey Uso standard because Gunther elevated him, right? It was the right result. The finish felt a bit flat, but sure, whatever. I think they did it on purpose to give Gunther that whole, like, oh, you tapped out, and Gunther's gonna move on to bigger and better things, hopefully.
Would you have preferred him to do like a big ass switchy music style super kick to end the match, like a sudden?
Yeah,
situation?
Right,
like because like how HBK used to do this, like every time somebody like push him and then like he take a step back and then suddenly he do the freaking
yeah. But then you see the sweet chin music hasn't been a legit finisher in a long time. The super kick, unfortunately, right? Okay, I think the thing is with submission finishers, it's very hard to. Now that I think about it, right, the problem with submission finishers, unless you build it up in a submission match format like only Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit could back in the day, and a few more, right, is it. Once you slap on the hole and then the struggle begins, the crowd kind of flattens out a little bit.
Agreed.
Agreed. And that's probably why Gunther tapped out so fast. To give, Gunther is such a giving man. To give Jay that moment, because the initial like, tap out, end the match. Then you get the high, immediate pop. As opposed to if he stood there and then like, wait for him to go out, the crowd would have died off already.
That's why Kurt Angle is so good, right? And because Kurt Angle had 2 levels to his ankle lock. You had the initial one when he's standing up, and the moment when he figure fours it, like, oh, it's over. You know that kind of
he grapevines it.
Yeah. But if you do like the rear naked choke, what other level can you do beyond him just dying?
No, exactly. It's so weird. Like I feel like Gunther can just stand up and then just like drop himself. Like like it felt like he could have gotten out of it. So it did, to me, come off flat. But like I said, it accomplished what they needed to do, and there you go.
Yeah. What do you think of what Lysander said? I think Jay's using Gunther's move is poetic because overall Gunther is the ring general, so it would make sense that his moves are like the OP moves.
Right, and so he now is the ring general and the champion, right? I guess there's a point there. Like he's trying to show like, yeah, you think you're very good. I also can do these moves.
I would say overall, I think this match exceeded my expectations. Like I have very low expectations for this match. Right?
True.
Yeah, but I thought it was a great opening match.
Yeah. No, as an opener, yes, 100% it was a great opener.
Yeah, and I'm happy for Jay. I think Jay gets his moment in the sun. So whether the Yeet thing dies off in the future, at least we know we can always look back in history and like, okay, this is where the culmination of the Yeet movement led to him winning his first title. And the shot of him like hugging Jay, I think that will be a very memorable moment that will be replayed.
Jimmy, you mean?
Sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Felt like Eddie and Chris to a certain extent. So yeah, it was a great moment.
Oh boy. I fell asleep for half of this match. I was so in and out of it. I'm not gonna lie. The next match. And I said it in my like predictions video, right? I'm like the only way this would be satisfying is if Big E came back. And he did not. And it was a cheap sort of a... I get why they want to do a cheap, like... Wasn't it like a quick roll-up or something like that? I forgot what it was.
It was a situation where, like, I think Kofi from outside the ring held down...
Oh, yeah. Yes. It was a heel win lah, as it were. The New Day beat the War Raiders.
Yeah.
Okay, and on SmackDown, did you hear the Las Vegas crowd boo the piss out of the decision that was made?
Triple threat ladder the next
TLC.
week, right?
Yes,
TLC.
doing the TLC triple threat tag team match on SmackDown instead of at WrestleMania. Like, wouldn't that have been such an incredible match taking this spot? Like, I felt nothing for this match. Yeah.
Can you imagine if they replaced this match, swapped it, do
TLC.
a triple threat TLC with Street Profits? Oh my god.
I think it would have Street Profits and Machine Guns, right? And DIY.
DIY, yeah.
Yeah, so that would have been such a good match compared to this. Like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with this match per se, but this match seems like a Raw main event.
Bro, I maintain what I said last week. This should have been a freaking pre-show match. And I'm surprised there wasn't any matches on the pre-show because freaking 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Just
okay, lah. It didn't feel too long, to be honest. They still kept it to 3 hours, even though there were 7 matches. So they're still doing a better job than AEW with the timing of these things. But that said, this match, I don't know why. Maybe they just want to reward them or whatever it is. It should have been the other tag team match.
If nothing else, I appreciate the placement of this match because at least it gave the crowd time to calm down after Jay and Gunther. Toilet break, take some food.
They really came down. Who said? Rishi said this was our order breakfast match, bro. You can order on the app, bro. But I don't need to leave. I just sit there and order on the app while the commercial is playing or the promos are playing.
I should have ordered food as well, but I haven't eaten breakfast yet, bro. I was watching
Oh,
WrestleMania,
shit.
so taking notes and shit. But again, serviceable match. Definitely not WrestleMania worthy.
No, there was no like we talked about last week. The New Day, great heel story, great heel turn, but then there's been no follow up. It's like I don't know what happened. Like, who is booking the New Day right now? Tony Khan?
They turned too early. If they wanted to pay off on WrestleMania, they should have done the turn like around this period.
Should they have waited for the turn when Big E was ready to return? If he ever will return, that's the other big question, right?
Yeah, because this feels like when MJF and Adam Cole had to move on from their rivalry because they knew that Adam Cole was injured. So they had to just cut. So maybe that's their way of like just cutting ties with Big E and moving on.
But that one, Cole was injured like mid-turn. This one, Big E was injured way before the turn was even an idea.
Yeah, also they should have pulled the trigger later on lah. Or maybe they knew that, maybe they were holding out hope for a couple of years that Big E will return.
But then they knew...
recently they realized that he really cannot return.
So they turned them and then just... But anyway, it doesn't matter the justification. I think we all agree this shouldn't have been on the card.
Yeah.
Here, in this spot.
Shout out to the War Raiders for their cosplay freaking
Clash of Clans! Oh, God!
Oh my God!
Hey, the promo... Can we talk about the commercialization of WWE? Like, the turnbuckle got ad lah, Clash of Clans logo right in the middle lah.
Not as bad as the Dude Wipes lah from last year. Remember Dude Wipes?
Dude Wipes, ass wipes. Or you just know, if they still had Billy Gunn in the WWE, he would be the guy promoting the ass wipes, bro.
Perfect, bro.
I'm an ass man. Bring that banger back, bro.
Bro, I have a crazy theory, bro. What if the only reason why this match was given a green light to be on the main card, right, was because they do open tender for sponsors. Then suddenly Clash of Clans come. Hey, we want to do a connection or sponsorship. Is there any character or wrestlers that fit with our vibe? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, got War Raiders, what?
Oh my God, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, bro. Right. I think that's exactly it. You have these two fellas that dress up like Vikings or whatever. Hey, it fits perfectly. Can't we do the promo? Oh my God, that's it.
So now, bro, WrestleMania is not just about paying off storylines that they built. got commercial aspect to it, bro.
What was
Sponsored content, sponsored match, this one.
Which year was it? LA Knight was a Slim Jim, so he came out like with Slim Jim
Last year.
stuff. Was it last year? Yeah.
Last year with Edge. And remember when it was the Hell in a Cell match with Edge and Finn Balor, and they wanted to promote the Exorcist, the one.
Yeah.
The mystery.
Yes.
Wow, bro. Okay, I tell you so now we want to predict matches that will happen. You see what sponsors that's joining WrestleMania.
Yes. Oh yeah, it was Fatal Fury on the canvas, not Clash of Clans. Oh my god, Fatal Fury! I'm surprised that is making a comeback. Like I haven't heard that game in a while.
Bro, it's so arcade, man. That's like back in the day. Yeah. I would say though the commercials on this show wasn't as ingratiating as last year's one. I felt like every commercial or like sponsor that they chose to work with didn't feel super out of place. Like still felt okay in the realm of wrestling.
And also because of where wrestling is right now, it's more. It makes more sense for these connections.
Bro, Rishi said Randy Orton selling Johnson's baby oil.
Oh no. Okay.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good one.
Let's move on to Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Man.
Oh yeah, okay.
Look, so I think we could all see what was happening. And to me, Jade was gonna win. You have to put her over big. They smashed her over essentially, and it made sense for this to be a semi-quick match. To be honest, it could have been quicker because I don't think that Jade is still not ready.
It's clear that Naomi was carrying the match. And maybe the reason why the match was a bit long was that they wanted to give Naomi her flowers as well, giving her this longer runway and time on WrestleMania. And I love the outfit. I love this new gimmick, the proceed with caution, looking like a heel. All that was great. Even the promo right before the match was great. Since when Naomi is into metal or hardcore, like why her music so wild one?
Is it because you've always seen her as a funkadactyl and then dancing to a certain type of music?
I don't know. At least hip hop lah. At least black music.
Hey, what? It's not a race thing. It's a musical taste thing. Anyway, I love the new look. But never during this match did I think that, Naomi's going to pull it out. To be honest, I feel like Naomi's in that spot in the WWE roster. She's there to put other people over. Jade needed to win big. I almost wish this was a 2-minute squash, to be honest. Because the story was already there. Jade come in, piss off, just like goes in. Naomi tries to do a few sneaky tricks, but Jade just beats the piss out of her and then does all her impressive power moves. Because the longer this went, the more there were moments where it was like awkward. Okay, what's our next move? Okay. And then you can see, I even got people messaging me, So, a lot of these matches you can see the wrestlers talking to each other. I was like, oh shit. So I'm not the only one noticing this. Like regular.
And these people they don't usually watch wrestling. They just happen to watch WrestleMania.
Yes, because it's on Netflix. Once again, kudos to them getting their product on Netflix, right? So there are a lot of these moments, and it'll happen again during the Tiffany Charlotte match. I feel like Jade is just not ready for this spot that they want her at.
I thought the ending sequence was a bit clunky. Like they tried to. She was struggling, and
yes,
we do not want to. I mean, I'm not saying or implying that Jade is not as strong as she looks. She is a strong woman, right? But she was struggling to lift her up in the fireman's carry. She was struggling to lift her up in the execution electric chair spot. But I know they were trying to go for her turning into a powerbomb, which was eventually a very cool move. But there was a very brief moment that I was like, oh my god, she's just gonna cock it up in this. She's just gonna botch this.
Okay, some people are gonna say that, well, it should look like a struggle. It shouldn't look too fluid, right? But you see, there's a difference between, once again, we compare with Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth. Or, all the greats. They struggle, but it never looks like they lose control. Whereas in this case, you're like, oh, there's a 50-50% chance they're going to botch this. And there were several weird botches as well.
Okay. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Very quickly, I want to say hi to Sir Who's and your son, who is both watching the live show. Appreciate it, guys. I have no idea whether your son understands what you're saying, but apa khabar? Selamat Hari Raya. Love
yes. No bad words. We have family-friendly entertainment here.
All good,
I'm sure y'all enjoyed WrestleMania as well. So, yes, back to Jade and Naomi. Again, I think this would have been better if it were a 3-4 minute squash.
Okay. It's all good, bro. I feel that it makes sense with what they were trying to do. And imagine if it was a squash, the internet would just blow up. We'll be
Yep.
like, what the fuck? Why you do this to Naomi? There will be a
Yep.
lot of haters. I think
Yep.
it might have the opposite effect. People will start hating on Jade Cargill for
Well,
squashing Naomi.
I guess, but no, actually no, I don't think Naomi is that. Okay, she's respected, but
Yeah.
okay. In a way, is that why people have been booing Bianca? I don't know if you notice this, but Bianca has been getting boos.
Yeah. Because people have been realizing that Naomi is justified heel turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been the friend. She's been supportive. So
And
like,
that's why Bianca should be involved here. In fact, you know what? If this were a triple threat between Jade, Bianca, and Naomi, it would probably been a better wrestled match
more emotions and stakes as well.
with more emotions and stakes. Yes.
But then why would Bianca and Jade have an issue with each other?
Because we don't know if Bianca was really, mastermind, or because it's still a bit of a question whether, if you watch SmackDown, the verbiage that they use implied that Bianca maybe had something to do with it, and she just doesn't want to talk about it now. So they could open the door for that in the future. So this might be a, akan datang wait and see situation, right? But still, for this match, in this spot in WrestleMania, it was...
Well...
And again, Jade and later I'll talk about it as well, Tiffany Stratton, I feel like they are not at that level in that you... if I can tell when the finish is coming, that means you're not on that level.
They are still early on in their careers.
Yes,
and there was a time when if someone was a rookie, they really needed to earn their stripes.
Yeah.
But these days, if you have the look, you have the charisma, they will still push you first.
Correct.
And then you'll figure out the wrestling part later. But
but you know what I mean, right? When
I get it.
When you see the match unfold, and then there's this very obvious point where you're like, this is the finishing sequence. They start setting up certain moves. You reverse this, I reverse that. I help you do this, you help me do that. Oh, finish. I felt a lot of that from this match and the Tiffany Charlotte match.
Yep. You know what? At the end of the day, I think visually it makes sense for them to have this match on the card. The story, David. I didn't expect this to be a show stealer by any means.
No.
It was more of a showcase for Jade, so I think it did its job.
You know what stole the show more? Jade Cargill looking incredible. If anything, her entrance sells her already.
I don't know anything about the weather report guy, but apparently that guy really is from the Weather Channel. Do you know?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's an actual personality on the Weather Channel.
Okay.
So that was hilarious.
That's a great
green screen.
Great collab. Great collab.
Yeah. And Jade Cargill is money in terms of presentation. You have fans like Vanessa Hutchins all loving her. So keep giving her, but try to protect her as much as possible until she is good enough, right?
Correct. Let's talk about the US Championship match. Okay. So now the opposite of the last match that we talked about. This was actually one of the better LA Knight matches. I think it was a lot to do with Jacob Fatula. In that, like I said, not a lot of the moves you can see them cooperating. Obviously, they're cooperating, but the illusion is to make it look like they are hurting each other. But this match was smooth. I loved it.
Would you say this was one of the top wrestling matches of the night?
There was one slip up though, right? It looked a bit weird. One of the what is this finisher called? The BMT rap.
BMT. BFT, bro.
The BFT. I hate that name, by the way. It's so hard to it doesn't flow. Blunt force trauma. Again, not a great thing to call your finisher, but anyway.
Yeah, sorry I got BFT gym right down the block. So
okay.
Easy for me to remember.
Also, I think the BFT is a shitty looking finisher. You know what it is? It is on the level of Randy's old finisher, the Overdrive, was it? It's a weird, awkward setup that doesn't look cool.
No offense to the Miz, I love him, but similar level to the Skull Crushing Finale as well.
Bro, I would say Skull Crushing Finale is better than the BMT.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It just looks like an awkward move. The only thing that can make it look good is if the person selling it makes it look good.
Yeah. It's essentially he's trying to replicate the feeling of doing a Stone Cold Stunner because the setup is the same.
Yeah.
But I think just dropping him down in a sitting position is way more impactful than just him falling.
Yeah, driving him in it doesn't it's one of those moves that doesn't look natural. Like the Austin Stunner looks very natural. Bang! That's it, right? Or RKO looks very natural.
Yeah. Okay. If the setup was still to do that kind of maneuver, how would you change the landing to make the BFT
Wow.
cooler?
How would I make? Wow. Okay, you caught me off guard. Yeah, because any other thing you do a straight drop, a flat back bump, it's all stunners, cutters. They've all been done before, right?
I've always thought the reverse stunner looks pretty badass. Like
So
instead of
that's
dropping
a
it
neck
down,
breaker, what?
yeah, essentially it's a neck breaker. But imagine instead of you dropping down with the
Mm.
person, you sit down. Like I think it looks devastating. If you think about it,
You
like you
sit down.
no, so you land the same way as a Stone Cold Stunner, like you jump and land on your ass,
Yeah.
but the person is in back breaker position. You literally look like your neck can
Oh,
be broken. You know what I mean?
yeah, but that's a neck breaker. Wow. Okay, I know what you mean.
No,
I
but
know what you mean.
the neck breaker is not as devastating as opposed to like it being
Correct.
jarred on a sitting
Yeah,
position.
because the neck breaker you drop on your back, so yeah, it doesn't look like it snaps the neck back. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think if we can somehow reverse it and do like a BFT setup to that, I think that would look pretty badass.
Right.
Like yeah.
But forget about LA Knight. Like, clearly, he's that guy. I hate to say it. He's got all the charisma. He is never like you can have him lose 1,000 times. He can get his heat back by just talking on the mic. Unfortunately, that is a negative for him because they're like, okay, he loses. He every time.
Yeah,
He's there to put somebody over. He's the Dolph Ziggler of this generation.
Oh, I hope not, bro. I think he has better charisma than Dolph, and I think he can still. I can imagine tomorrow Elena go back to the main event scene. You know, like
Oh,
he
yeah?
can carry that, depending on opportunities. But can we talk about Jacob Fatu though?
Wow.
And what else is there to say about him other than the fact that Solo looks like he's fucking errand boy now, lah. When he enter, do you see? When he
Yes,
enter?
yes. So, okay, obviously, I mean, not obviously, but like, most likely they are pointing towards a Samoan feud, right?
Yeah,
A
for
mini
sure.
bloodline betrayal because now you have Jacob and he's the US champion and he's the alpha of the group, right? And then
Yeah.
you have Solo sort of like, actually, I'm the tribal chief. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I dropped off, but I kind of dropped off that bad until I had to become the assistant now. Come on.
So you know, at some point he's gonna turn on Jacob. It's just a matter of when they want to pull that trigger. But yeah, Jacob looked incredible. They let him, show out basically.
Yeah,
Everything he did looked perfect and smooth.
This is his first WrestleMania match, by the way, and it feels like he's been there a while already.
Yes,
so kudos
yes,
to him.
You had Haku coming out. Yes, correct.
The thing about Jacob Fatu I love is that while he's savage, he does all the like crazy stuff. Suddenly he pulls off a beautiful moonsault. So I just feel that there's a bit of beauty and violence in the way he wrestles. Does it make sense?
What is Julia's nickname? The beautiful.
A beautiful badass.
Something like that.
No, beautiful madness or something.
Madness, yeah. So he can be the beautiful werewolf. I don't know, the graceful werewolf.
It suddenly reminds me of a Rihanna song.
Beautiful monster, beautiful monster.
You got a sweet dream and a beautiful nightmare.
Oh, the beautiful nightmare, right.
Right, yeah, that one. I can't believe you are referencing this song for Jacob Fatu, but the point I'm trying to make is I love the fact that WWE is building him up the right way. Tag team. And then yes, he have some main event matches, but then still build him up through the mid card first.
Yep.
I do not want him to be pushed to the moon to the main event directly.
So now he's at that stage where he's got that mid card title. Then we start building the feuds from there.
Correct. And he can be a mid card title holding a title in the bloodline. I know the bloodline is, I don't know what is the bloodline anymore.
It's not a thing really. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. But Jacob Fatu can make it a thing. If they rally around Jacob. So
well, okay, most likely what I see happening is Tongaloa at some point will come back, huh?
Come on.
Tribal chief, yes.
Our real tribal chief, our true tribal chief.
The real low blow king. We totally forgot to talk about this, but okay, let's just put a bow on it. I see big things for Jacob Fatu. This is one of the better wrestled matches on the night.
Yeah. You can rely on Jacob for storylines, for character, for quotable promos, all gas, no breaks.
No breaks.
And then the fact that he has all the tools, 5-2 player, bro. For sure.
Okay, so low blow. I'd be remiss not to bring up Paul Heyman's double low blow, right?
Oh, yes.
The second one, did you see he low blow, he lingered for a bit, and he started
That's
He
not
he
how
really
it works, bro.
he really wanted to get extra feel in there, like jingle the bells a little bit more,
Bro,
exert more pain,
might
bro.
as well he low blow then he like, ooh.
Low blow and squeeze, give it a little
uh,
milking. Oh my god. Yeah, that was
man,
quite.
I got nothing to say about
You know
that.
that's gonna be memed
The
like
thing
going
about
forward.
Paul Heyman's second low blow, the one on Roman Reigns, right? I think he telegraphed it too much. Do you see his eyes keep shifting?
Yes.
Trying
No,
to
and
get
then
in
he
position?
positioned himself. Yeah, it's like okay, you kind of saw it coming, but
Come on,
it's
bro.
okay. Like it's
Yeah.
fine. I rather them try to get it right than
Hmm.
tingle his loins.
Tingle the loins, bro.
There's a Wade Barrett line right there.
Yeah.
But okay, there you go. Let's move on to El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix. Okay, we didn't get Rey Mysterio. We got the other Rey.
So unfortunate.
Do you think this was a bait and switch, or did Rey legit get injured?
No, I think Ray legit got injured.
Okay.
Yeah, because you see, if Ray Phoenix was gonna be the one that was replacing him and he was part of storyline, wouldn't they have at least teased the interaction between Ray and Ray?
Right.
They,
I
that-
mean,
it
yeah.
wasn't part of it. But you know
No,
what? If
they've had some interactions backstage on SmackDown, so you could justify it.
But if you want to follow storyline, right? Who is Ray's faction member, faction teammate in LWO?
At this point, I don't even know already.
No,
Who-
his main guy is the Dragon Lee, bro.
oh yeah, Dragon Lee. So why wasn't Dragon Lee the guy there?
Exactly. So I could argue that Dragon Lee would have been a better position, even though he's not as well known as Ray Phoenix. But yeah, so I think they really had to scramble. Very poor thing lah. There's some issues. I heard Bailey also had
Injured?
angle and she's gonna be replaced.
Huh?
On the match. Yeah, I saw. I think was it on SmackDown or something else? I can't remember.
Oh, I must have missed it. But yeah, I'm looking at the card. You're right. It's Lyra and somebody else. Oh no. I feel bad because this could have been Lyra's big feud moving forward, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
So
I speculated that Bailey would turn on Lyra, but I guess now they're left hanging.
I wonder could a certain Irish lass be the last minute replacement?
Okay, that would be cool. And
Yeah.
but that would
They
mean they would win.
They have the history there.
You can't have Becky Lynch. You're referring to Becky, obviously.
Yeah, for
You can't have Becky Lynch come back, team with Lyra, and lose. That would be super deflating.
I mean, your girl getting to be a double champ. Why not? Why not?
I
Why
would
not
know,
behind
bro,
this,
I would,
bro?
I would love it, but I feel bad for Liv and Raquel, who
Liv-
I had my doubts about Liv for the longest time. You know
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, Liv
But-
is amazing.
Yeah, she's improved. She really reminds me of Trish in that when she first came in, she cute only lah, whatever lah. But then through the months and then the years of great storylines, her in-ring work has improved, but I wouldn't say it's up there with the Charlottes and the Beckys and the Sasha. Okay, never mind, not Sasha. Bailey's, right?
I think Liv is gonna be fine without a title. To be honest,
Okay,
her
yeah.
character is good enough. Her
Yep.
character is great.
I agree.
And
I agree.
even if she loses or what, right? She could play a big part in the Fatal 4-Way
Oh,
tomorrow, right?
yes, that's
Right?
true. That's
So
true.
we shall see about
Okay,
that.
but let's come back to El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix. That promo package, bro, I died. I was like, somehow, Chad Gable has been given some of the dumbest, stupidest, ridiculousest gimmicks,
Yeah,
and he's made it work. Give this man his IC title. Give this man his flowers,
Made in America,
bro.
this
Bro,
guy.
hey, Lysander, it's not thank you. It's gracias.
Gracias. No, this guy, right, has proven that he deserves to be in the main event. Like I feel you insert him in the main event, he can be the Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Like he can feasibly win a title because people believes he's legit. People knows he's legit. So even though when he does all the goofy shit, which is the same situation as Kurt Angle lah.
Did he have a
Yeah.
serious run though? Like as a quote unquote shooter? See, that's the thing he's missing. Kurt, he can do all the goofy stuff only because he's established himself as a legit, I will hurt you in the ring, I'll stretch you in all manners possible. Technical god, right?
It just takes one angle, bro. Just one time, Chad Gable goes crazy. Remember that time when
Chat angle, bro.
I have fallen for it. Remember that one time he turned on Sami Zayn and fucking back suplex him in front of the wife?
Yeah.
Imagine he does a similar angle and then starts to bloody out an opponent. Straight away taken seriously.
Yeah, okay. I think the mistake with him is they didn't establish that first. Like they've said he's an Olympian, blah blah blah, but sometimes it comes off as gimmick more than you need to show me by his deeds. He goes in there and has a technical masterpiece with somebody else who can hang with him, right? And establish him as that sort of like killer in the ring. But he's a goofy ass mofo as well. Then the goofy stuff works.
Yeah. The thing about Chad is that they straight away jump to the goofy part. So immediately he's established as a goofy character from the get-go.
Exactly. And that's why, to me, he's got a ceiling, unfortunately, when we all know that he has so much more to offer. So, to that point, back to the dubbed promo. Oh my god, I was dying. I was laughing my ass off. I loved it so much.
I want to rewatch WrestleMania again. I think all of us should, just to kind of see the things that we missed. But this match made me believe that Chad Gable for world champ, like in the next 1 year.
Okay, maybe. Oh my god, he's gonna be AAA champ. You watch. El Grande Americano is gonna be AAA champ.
God. El Grande, bro. El Grande will beat Vikingo. By the way, rare Vikingo appearance.
Yes.
On the show. Can you imagine he beat Vikingo and then became champ? I think the whole of Mexico will just
riot. They'll be like, what the fuck is this? This fake lucha. And that's the point. He's gonna get so much heat. It'll be great for that character.
Bro, but if you think about it from a business standpoint, if he wins, he steals the AAA Mega Championship and then he escapes Mexico, comes back to America, appears on Raw, parades the Mega AAA Champ. That's promotion for AAA.
Exactly. So it works on so many levels.
Bro, El Grande Americano will save the AAA, bro.
Dude, I think so, man. I think this is a great move. Look, there were some people saying like he should just lose and get unmasked. I was like, no, they just started this angle. It definitely has legs. And now that the AAA thing went through, I think they planned this all along.
Yeah. Wait, Tovakin. It doesn't work like that. Absolute cinema does not translate to cine absoluto. You anyhow.
It's Kali, is he Google Translate? You don't know only, huh? Yeah, I love the match, and I honestly can't wait to see El Grande Americano go up against all the other luchas. Dragon Lee, you have all the Humberto and the other fella whose name I forget, and then Escobar.
Do you think it's a missed opportunity to not reveal Chad Gable under the mask?
No, of course not.
WrestleMania?
Save it for like a couple. Once this angle has so much legs moving forward, right? You can milk this almost unveiled, almost.
The WrestleMania moment of him being unveiled. I mean, it is a WrestleMania moment. I just don't know. Like maybe
the lead up to it would have been too. Yeah, it would have been too short of a lead up. So now maybe he gets unveiled at SummerSlam or it has to be a long angle where, like I said, he goes and steals the title, the AAA championship, right? And then whoever the lucha guy they want to promote is, he will be the one to bring back honor to AAA and Lucha Libre, and they'll do a mask versus mask match, and that will be a huge moment.
If they can carry this all the way to Royal Rumble next year, I want El Grande and Chad Gable to be entrants. Royal Rumble. Let's do it, bro.
Bro, when El Grande turned on Chad, that's what I want to know. Chad versus El Grande. Bro, they could do that too. They've done bullshit like that before.
There is some conspiracy that one of the recent matches where it was El Grande, right, in the match, there was a clear doppelganger body swap. Because there was one part where you saw the back tattoo, it was Chad Gable's back tattoo. And they swapped it a few minutes later in the match. Another guy was doing a superplex at the corner that didn't have a back tattoo. So some people are like very eagle-eyed viewers. Oh, they are playing the body swap thing. Really?
Let's go. I'm here for it, man. I low-key love these sort of these are used to be my favorite type of mid-card feuds. Where it's like entertaining but also not too over-the-top ridiculous. But the wrestling is going to be good also.
Agreed. Well, I didn't realize we're going to spend so much time talking about Rey Mysterio. We barely talk about Rey Phoenix. We talk about Grande.
Okay. Rey Phoenix's intro to WWE, I think we can agree, has been a little bit less impactful than Penta. They've given him wins over mid-card and lower mid-card guys. Yes, right? But I think a lot of it has to do with the presentation, in that we just saw a luchador presented in a certain way, and it's very grand, right? With the very memorable pyro and music. And then you debut Rey Fenix with no, not even lucha music. Generic rock music 5. Like, oh my god, Def Rebel.
Do you think that with everything that's going on at WrestleMania, maybe they should have saved Rey Phoenix
Yes.
to debut post WrestleMania?
Yes. Unfortunately, he's a victim of circumstance lah.
I felt he got lost in the shuffle.
Yep.
Like everyone's like, "Wow, Rey's here." Okay, anyway, WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So,
I feel like the only thing that could re-elevate him is when he joins Penta lor.
yeah. We
Lucha
shall
Bros.
see. I wish they had a real interaction between Rey Mysterio and Rey Phoenix for him to like christen him as the
Yeah.
guy to fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, we shall see.
Ray. Oh my god. Rey Mysterio is like the godfather of the Mexican wrestlers, the luchas now.
Yeah, you know Rey will go back to AAA and do like a promo,
Yeah.
just to usher the next generation.
Exciting
Cool.
stuff. One of my favorite matches as well. Like, the funny thing is, a lot of the mid matches that don't really have huge storyline implications, those were the better wrestle matches.
On tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then we have Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. What did you think of Tiffy Time's entrance?
Or the Barbie doll thing?
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Love it. She's so self-aware. She knows that she does look like Barbie. And what an introduction. If you think about it, if I've never watched wrestling before, I've just watching WrestleMania for the first time, I was like, wow, they have a wrestler that looks like a Barbie doll. Wow, okay, let's go,
a buff Barbie lah,
Yeah, buff.
And then, okay, funny thing is, and I wonder if they are trying to play off Charlotte's ego here, but why is the champ coming out first?
Because you're playing on picking
Charlotte's
ego.
Okay, sure. Because at first I thought Charlotte would do some elaborate intro where she got a helicopter, she come in from don't know where, that's why she had to go second. But her entrance was just car come out, she walks out. So that's not, she could have come out first. I don't get it. So yeah, maybe they were working on that angle.
Is the veteran needing the shine, I think. The
You
veteran
think so?
wanting to, yeah.
Well, okay, I'll be honest with you, right? Watching this match, I suddenly feel like, maybe it's just me, right? But I'm like, hey, actually Charlotte is freaking carrying Tiffy. As athletic as Tiffany Stratton is, you can tell she's not ready yet. It's not as bad as Jade Cargill, but you know that same vibe where there were a lot of moments you can tell Charlotte was telling her what to do.
I think they definitely do have real life issues with each other. But I think even Charlotte, to a certain point, her ego would not let her have a bad match.
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. She's a professional, and at the end of the day, she needs to show that, yeah, I can pull off a good match, even with somebody I don't like.
Yeah. To me, like, Tiffany has a lot to learn. I'm very forgiving of Tiffany because I feel like she's in the Randy Orton spot at the early part of his career.
Yes.
If you were gonna write off Randy Orton just for his failed babyface run in 2004, right, we have not gotten the career that he has now.
Yeah.
But he needed to go through that period. And I feel Tiffany needs to get his cut shown, get shown out in the early part of her career right now with her Charlotte Flair. So that she can learn from this experience, get better, because she already has so much of the physical tools that you can't teach. Like, you can't teach her aura. She knows how to present herself.
You can't teach that to steal a line.
What a throwback. Yeah. So Tiffany, I feel like has all the tools, and she needs to be seasoned with interactions with somebody like Charlotte. She already has Becky Lynch back in NXT. So yeah, let her go through this period. And I only feel that she is not deserving if she kind of becomes an asshole and thinks that her shit don't stink.
Right.
But I don't think so. I think she's really trying to prove herself that she's good enough.
Okay, hot take. I think Tiffany should have dropped the title here. I think she does better on the chase. I think she reminds me of Liv Morgan's first run as champion.
Okay.
Oh, blonde, got the look, but in ring still a bit like rough around the edges. She's more athletic than Liv, that's for sure, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, there were a lot of moments where you could tell the moves were choreographed. Okay, I'm gonna push off, and they made it very obvious. It's not even about the struggle. It's like, oh, I'm going to help you do this move now. And there were quite a few miscues. And Charlotte was visibly like at Tiffany. Okay, you do this. So I'm like, oh no. So,
but you know what? I think Tiffany winning is a lot to do with the crowd liking her as well.
Yeah.
Like, the crowd was solid behind her though.
What is okay? So I don't get it. I honestly, I got it like elimination chamber last year. I got it, but I very quickly lost the oh, because I find her promos unnatural and grating.
The thing is, she's miscast as a babyface. That's a problem.
Yeah, like
People
she was
like
cool.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was cool as a heel, as a like a bitchy heel.
Yeah. She suffers from the MJF problem. MJF was a good heel, got good, people started supporting him, and then for a moment they experimented with him being a babyface. And then afterward they realized, nah, I mean, no matter how well respected or liked he is, or people know things he's good, still keep him as the uber heel.
Heel, yes.
Yeah. But the problem is, I don't think there's any strong, likable babyface that Tiffany can go up against. She's by default is likable because everyone else is more hateable. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. So
I feel like I feel like this could be a really good match 3 years later.
Yep.
Like Tiffany just needs a bit more. She's that diamond in the rough. Like you talk about like that Randy. That's a great analogy. Like that Randy Orton. Like I remember Randy Orton. He had the overdrive as a finisher, and he was like cutting kind of cringe promos. It's just like I don't see what they see in him. But then you give him a couple of years with the right guidance. Holy shit, he becomes the legend killer. He becomes the apex predator, right? So maybe Tiffany Stratton needs a little bit more time. It just felt like she felt like she wasn't ready for this spot on WrestleMania.
Very interesting that you brought up 3 years, right? Do you remember WrestleMania 39? You said Rhea versus Charlotte was the best match of the year, right?
Yep.
But a lot of people forget that that's not their first WrestleMania encounter.
Yes.
They had their first WrestleMania encounter for the NXT Championship during the pandemic WrestleMania in 2020. That match was good, but you can clearly tell there was a clear difference in level between Rhea and Charlotte. Rhea wasn't. If Rhea had won, she lost the title then because Tiffany won the NXT title on that night, right? I can't remember.
Was it? I forget.
Yeah, because I know Tiffany. Was it Charlotte won the Royal Rumble but challenged for the NXT title?
Oh, and it was the NXT that one. Yeah.
And I can't remember whether Rhea retained or Rhea dropped it to Charlotte.
She lost. She lost it to Charlotte. Charlotte ran with the NXT title for a while, I believe.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Got it. So that's the point. I feel like the 3-year analogy is perfect. I feel like right now, 2025, that is the level that Tiffany and Charlotte is. But maybe 2028, Tiffany will be the perfect time, enough experience to really hold her own. And Charlotte has been there throughout both ladies' careers.
Correct. So
I gotta respect that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Watching this match, I actually respected Charlotte more. Like, forget about her, her weird quote unquote unprofessionalism, whether they made it like that on purpose or not. But in the confines of watching this match, I'm like, she's doing a very good job carrying Tiff.
And that's why maybe if we listen beyond what the fans think of Charlotte, people find Charlotte unlikable and all that. That's why maybe WWE management always keeps staying with Charlotte, keeps pushing her. Because they know that no matter without all the noise and nonsense, in the ring, she's a ring general.
Yes.
For the women's division.
Correct. So there you go. That's night one, you guys. Again, like we said, it's probably suffering from night one blues, where night one is never going to live up to night two, so it feels a little bit like underwhelming.
Yeah. Guys, I'm very curious to hear what is your grades for WrestleMania Night 1. Share with us your alphabet grades, A, B, C, D, your number grades out of 10.
Hey, come, we standardize lah, upon 10. Got alphabet lah, you want A1, B plus C3, all this shit lah. No, just give us upon 10, guys, upon 10. WrestleMania Night 1, right now, I'm going to give it a 6. Ooh. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I haven't slept.
Okay.
Because my poor doggo is... Okay, hang on. Sophie, come
here. Is he here?
Say hi. She's everybody, please send Sophie some love, okay? This poor thing has been shitting her brains out.
Oh, cheers to Sophie, bro. I hope you feel better, girl.
Look at her sad face. Face.
Fluffy. She's so fluffy. Sorry.
Yeah. Imagine all this floof, in the middle. Bro, imagine 5 a.m., 5:20 a.m., 5:50 a.m., 6 a.m. This girl has her butt washed more than... Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm grossing people out.
The butt is cleaner than most guys' butts. Is it the diarrhea type or like solid still?
Bro, it's... I'm going to ruin it. I'm going to ruin chocolate fudge for everybody. It's literally like chocolate fudge everywhere. This poor thing.
Okay. In the meantime, thanks guys for sending your grades. So Div says Charlotte's in-ring ability is undeniable. I agree there. Lysander 7 out of 10. Div 7 out of 10. Felix Piers. Sorry, am I pronouncing correct? Felix Pierce 6 out of 10.
Yeah, right? I would give it a 6 as well. I think again, it also has to do with the finish. The finish was a bit of a letdown in that it wasn't a satisfying conclusion to a story. It was more of a there's more to come.
Yeah, I will give it I would say 7 for me. Again, I need to watch it a second time. Maybe some things I missed out, but purely what carried this event to me that made it interesting was the triple threat, of course.
Yes.
Best wrestled match for me might be a hot take, might be not. LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. Best wrestled match.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I just felt like it was such a clean match. I know Brett and Austin was inducted last night.
Yeah.
But I just felt like the level of confidence both of them have in the ring and their defined character just made it such an enjoyable match to watch for me.
Actually, looking at the card for tomorrow, night 2, there are more potentially good wrestling matches.
Okay. Yeah.
Funnily enough,
We shall see.
Yeah.
And the match that surprised me in terms of I thought it exceeded expectations for me would have been the Jay and Kunta match for me.
That one, low bar. The low bar was set low, so yeah.
What do you think of the match quality of Tiffany versus Charlotte though?
Wow, see, that's the thing. It's I actually don't think it's a bad match. I just think that there were a lot of spots that were very obvious, choreographed. But Charlotte is still, very good in the ring. I would give that a solid 7.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like Tiffany didn't wrestle or didn't perform up to the level of Charlotte. She's not there yet. Give her 2-3 years.
Okay, so what was your favorite match of the night, and what was you think was the best wrestled match of the night? Or it both could be the same thing.
El Grande Americano. Okay, no, that match made me smile the most. I was sports entertained the most with that match and the whole program. I think the package itself. The best wrestle match to me was Jacob Fatu LA Knight. The best story, whoa, what? Of course, the main event.
Okay, so we are both aligned here.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But again, if these two matches was in another Wrestlemania cut from last year, perhaps, of 39, I wouldn't say these two matches would have stand out. Okay?
Yeah,
that's the thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I would say it's the best out of a mid bunch.
Yeah. So like we said, I think tomorrow will be the better night. Oh, but I did bring up one thing in my predictions that I don't know if we've talked about here, right? Like the John Cena Cody Rhodes thing. Doesn't it feel like in the build, they've really only built this on one moment? That one singular moment of John Cena turning heel. Beyond that, there's not much else to that.
Yeah. And again, I don't know whether it's a mixture of his schedule, but remember when the final boss was around and he was there every week?
Yeah.
We had so many hotly anticipated moments, bro.
Correct. As opposed to this one where it's just John Cena justifying his actions for 2 weeks in a row. He just come out, cut promo. 1 week didn't Cody beat him up 1 week?
No, that was the third week when they had. Okay, so 2 weeks of him talking by himself. Third week they actually did a back and forth.
Oh no, face to face. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and then the last one was this past SmackDown where they had one more back and forth. So it's literally just 4 promos after the fact.
Yeah, and one physical altercation. So it feels like the start of a feud as opposed to, we're going to see a resolution. So given that, right, can you imagine if Night 2 was also another coming soon, akan datang. John Cena wins and then beats Cody Rhodes, the heel wins. And then it's that's 2 nights in a row of not a good conclusion, not satisfying wrapping up a story. That kind of sucks to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to lower my expectations for Night 2 because now we know what's the standard.
Same. Wow, bro.
Okay, it's very unfair to compare to WrestleMania 40 because I feel WrestleMania 40 is just like a monumental moment, right? It's like a decade mania.
You came off the back of the Bloodline. 2.5, 3 years worth of story, and it paid off in that moment. Yeah, there is no quote unquote 3-year payoff in WrestleMania 41.
So we are starting off a new era. This is really post Endgame. They're trying to build into a new era.
Yeah, yeah.
It may be a few years down the road where we have another really epic WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
And this is par for the course. I would say this was like a decent Mania. We have seen shittier Manias, let's be
Oh
honest.
yeah,
Right,
that one,
right.
yeah, bro. The funny thing is WrestleMania 13, that immortal moment, right? I actually went to rewatch the entire pay per view because I remember so fondly that match. I loved. It's one of my favorite matches as well, right? Stone Cold versus Bret Hart. The rest of the card was shit.
Yeah, yes, it was a
You
shit.
you had
WrestleMania.
Ahmed Johnson and the Legion of Doom versus a bunch of jabronis. I don't even remember who they are.
Bro, the main event was Sid and
Sid
freaking
and
Undertaker,
Taker.
right?
Oh, that was such a bad match.
Yeah, it was a bad. Yeah, that literally that match carried the entire WrestleMania card. So I'm saying if your one match card is so good, like people still remember WrestleMania 25 because of Undertaker and HBK.
Yeah.
No one cares about the other matches there.
Correct. So, well, what's the match for this card? Cody versus Cena?
I would say depending on how monumental that moment is,
Yeah.
Cody versus Cena for sure.
Okay.
sure.
I hope so. Cody, who's top of his game. John Cena,
We haven't seen him wrestle to that level recently, so there might be a lot of question marks there.
And they've been pushing this whole you can't wrestle thing as well, which is very interesting.
Yeah. So, can he wrestle? That's the question.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, I'm excited for night 2, don't get me wrong. And again, guys, my final rating after I get some sleep will probably be higher. So I'm gonna go do exactly that. Grab some lunch right now and go take a damn nap. Oh, and send Sophie to the vet.
Man, I hope she gets better. Can you want to address a couple more people things that the people say on the chat? Zayden, WrestleMania 41 will basically be Infinity War. I agree. Maybe not Infinity War. Maybe the start of like the multiversal saga. You know?
Oh my god, yes.
And Rishi asked about, can you recommend a solid WrestleMania from 95 to 2003? Come on, bro. This is easy.
There were a lot. Wait, when did the triple threat we talked about just now, when did that happen? I forget.
Oh, that's 2004. So I think he have watched WrestleMania.
Watched already.
Okay, Rishi, watch the entire stretch between WrestleMania 17 to WrestleMania 19. I would say like WrestleMania 17 would be like a full-on attitude era, like Stone Cold versus The Rock. Best WrestleMania. And every match was amazing. People keep forgetting Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle was in that.
Oh my god, yes,
yeah,
bro.
It was amazing. So watch that. WrestleMania 18, of course, for Rock and Hogan, right?
Yeah.
And WrestleMania 19, I would say my favorite match on that night was actually Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, the main event, right? Even though
the shooting star.
Shooting star, the bot shooting star. But we also have Rock versus Austin.
Yes.
We had Vince McMahon versus Hulk Hogan, which was actually a great match.
Well, for what it was, it wasn't a match per se, but yeah.
It was a moment. So there was some hidden gems there. So I'm saying that 3 stretch, I think really encapsulate that era of wrestling really, really well.
You know, talking about immortal moments, just to make a quick diversion, right? So it's interesting that they named it immortal moment, not immortal match moment. So technically, you could have Angles be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So of course there was this lively debate on Discord what could be moments, and of course then people started bringing up things like Mae Young giving birth to a hand.
Hey, nonsense lah. It has to happen at WrestleMania, is it? I mean, of course lah.
No, immortal moment can be any moment that is.
In the history of the
history of the so it literally be anything. Hogan body slamming Andre, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no. No nonsense lah, guys. I know. Let's clear all the legitimate moments first.
Yeah. The good thing is they just started this, so they have many years of incredible moments to go before they start digging the bottom of the barrel. I think we will be dead by the time they need to start digging the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, when Santina won Mrs. WrestleMania, I think we are long gone by then.
Yeah, we'll be dust already, so we don't worry about that.
But what do you think about them having the half-face?
I like it. I think it's cool. Some abstract art shit. I know somebody was like, I think Irvin was like, so what happens if they have a fatal 4-way as a moment?
They got 4 hits big.
I'm sure every year they will commission some cool abstract artist to do it. They can figure it out one.
Bro, serious question. So how are they gonna split the sculpture? Who's gonna bring home the sculpture?
So Brad takes the Brad side, Steve takes the Steve side, they take it home.
They can cut open. No, they can like
disconnect.
They can fix and disconnect. And then every time they meet each other, hey, how have you been? And
combine our powers combined. Oh my god. Look, I think what it is they probably have 3. one for WWE headquarters to keep in storage, and then one for Brett, one for Austin. Yeah, then one you keep at home. So they probably have 3. And then in 50 years, when we are dying, like we are 90, 100 years old, then WWE Most Wanted Treasures will have the episode.
So all 3 is handcrafted by the same guy, or they just make one and then the other 2 copy paste?
I think they just make one, and then the other 2 copy paste. Send to China. Tariffs high, but they can go direct to manufacturer.
Handcraft. I bring the China guy to come my house to actually handcraft it.
Correct. Cheaper. Now got tariff. Cannot make it.
Okay, guys. Yeah, that's Wrestlemania Night 1, bro. Right?
Bro, we will be back tomorrow, night 2. Let's freaking go. And of course, a big shout out once again to the sponsor for this season, Hasif. He's back. You remember him from previous seasons, of course.
I'm back.
I'm better than ever. Face facts.
Yes, please support.
Finance and fitness, F&B. If you wanna chat with him, have day with Hasif. Not bad, not bad. Okay, Hasif, go follow him on Instagram, Hasif_captures. Drop him a message if you want to actually have day with Hasif. Yes.
If you enjoy our content, you enjoy our podcast, please support him. Please support us. He's keeping the lights going, and thank you to all our Patreon members as well for keeping the lights going. We are gonna be back tomorrow. I feel sorry for anyone that has to go to work tomorrow. I'm sorry for you, bro, as well. But my boy is gonna be chilling, so I'm gonna be here all morning on the Discord and then on the podcast. So if you guys have free time, hey, your lunchtime, you guys just step off for lunch, watch a bit of Wrestlemania, and talk to us as well. Let's go.
Yeah, bro, I'm gonna have lunch and watch NXT. Not gonna lie, I heard good things. Man. So,
bro, we got to react to John Cena and Cody Rhodes as well tomorrow. That's
yes. Okay, so everybody, go do what you need to do, get some rest, and we'll see you again tomorrow on the podcast. As always, it is Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building. Have a good sleep.
Let's go.